Hello and welcome everyone to another Let's Play with the developers. My name is Raycoms and I'm one of the main developers of Minecolonies, and we are live here on our HellColonies server. It will be hot today, quite literally, and Sam Leathers will be joining us relatively soon as well.
I'm here.
Hi Sam. I'm hearing some static. Is that from you? Yes.
Maybe I'm just logging in.
No, always when you say something I hear like turn on the music. Let's get some weird static sound. Hi John, thanks a lot. Yes, we made 1010 now even. Hi Odd, hi Sad Horizon as well. Let me double check on the sound settings. Those should actually all be alright. Just plugging things back in and out.
Is it maybe better now?
Yes, I think now it's better. Yes, I can't hear any static anymore. Great. So, I spent quite hi Neo Rayston, glad you're enjoying it. So I spent quite some time this morning on some general improvements. So I fixed the waypoint rendering, which blame Raven for it. Because she changed the waypoint schematic, so it was rendered one block below where it should, and so it was in the ground and no one could see it, obviously. I also fixed the waypoint stopping thing. I wonder why I've never noticed that, because it was resetting at each waypoint the path, which basically led to waiting some seconds before the path is recalculated, before all the path stuff happens again. So not resetting it and just pathing to the next thing actually solved that.
Well, that's how waypoints work, isn't it?
Yeah, it shouldn't
We
have
only
to
pass towards the waypoint.
It shouldn't have to reset the entire pathing system. I readjusted. Now then I did some things around the modular things I'm actually really happy about, because now that really looks well design wise and is going to allow us much more easily to add additional modules. I also did some pathfinding improvements. Here someone is stuck behind the iron. I made some pathfinding improvements. So lately, I'm not sure if you guys remember, I talked about that we improved the leather handling of the colonists, so that they wouldn't just sometimes while going up the ladder, they would fall down a few blocks and then think like, oh, I have to pass there, but I can't jump up there actually. So I fixed that, but it took, I think, didn't take really into account that a citizen could be between those two blocks basically on the way, like between those two blocks here. So it would sometimes falsely detect at the wrong block, which would cause some glitchy behavior on tracks especially. And then I found something really funny. Do you know when you take a minecart around closed corners and sometimes you see like a little bit of black inside the walls?
Yeah.
So that also happens to our citizens. The funny part.
They take damage in the wall.
The funny part is, so yes, they take damage in the wall. The funny part are two things. First of all, it's only on the client side this happens. This does not happen on the server side. And the second thing is, since they're taking damage in the wall, we have code to teleport them somewhere else, since they're taking wall damage.
Oh yeah, we are teleporting them upwards.
So we teleported them on the client side somewhere else, while on the server side they would still continue in the card. So what would happen, you would see them disappear and then reappear 10 blocks later in a card. So I also did fix that. While I was debugging the minecarts, I noticed while I was debugging the minecarts, I found that and I was like, what the hell is happening here?
Teleporting citizens.
And I was like, the citizen is teleporting, but it's also at the same time like actually what I saw was the citizen staying at the point at the corner, but I could see the path continuing, and then I saw suddenly the citizen where it should be, right? I was like,
yeah, so the path marking itself as reached gave it away, kinda.
yes.
See, useful feature.
So the path reaching, so like the path calculation is on point. So yeah, that is also fixed then with the next version. Nightonom's work is finally at the end, so we will have relatively soon. After the stream, I'm going to look into this. We're going to be updating Structurize and the newest Minecolonies version with the new Structurize version. And that will bring a bunch of small enhancements for you right now, but will make a bunch of things much easier for us in the future, as well as the UI, the guide UI in the builder is going to be consistent, which is yay. Do you need iron bars? And obviously then, because of the Structurize update, we will get a bunch of other Structurize fixes alongside with it, as for example the entity placement fix I had talked about already. So there are a bunch of improvements hinging on that. Do I have some cobble? I need an anvil and a rack. Do I have some cobble here with me? Yes. Okay. What do you need? An anvil. I don't think I have any andesite. Nope. I don't have enough for an anvil, but I have enough for the lanterns, I guess, and for the rack. Yes. How many? Did just see the list. How many anvils? Lanterns, 5. So we make 5 of this here. And can then take the remaining. Here, we need the remaining ones to make the rack. Awesome. We got that done. That's done. I finally got my automatic experiment setup stuff set up today and was able to run it nicely. I did find another bug. This time it was in my code, but unexpectedly there was like some multi-threading going on I wasn't expecting. So I made that more, and now it's just running very nicely, my prototype. I'll be able to make some neat progress in the next week with that. If there are 2 rails next to each other, citizens try to always stay to the right side. Hi Amazing Barrels, how are you doing? That would actually be possible. If we find a rail, we only mark the right, and if there's a rail to the right of it, might be possible. We would calculate if the origin is a rail and in this direction. Maybe there's something that could be done there, but it could be very glitchy as well. So that I would have to look into that more. Would need quite the detailed look, because that could easily go in the wrong direction. So it also needed an armor stand. I saw that. 1 block apart. The closer the rails are, the easier it would be. 1 block apart might work. It also might, it's one of these things that's like kind of difficult to assess. It would cost probably quite the amount of time to check it out and might not be worth it. Armor stand. Wasn't that the armor stand thing? Ah, one more. So, what else do we have? Andesite wall 2. Dum dum. 2 walls. What else? Blackstone wall, 1 more. I think we have that blackstone wall somewhere around. No. I think I'm going to need a bunch of these anyway. So, 1 blackstone wall coming up. We do need our crafters for that, right? To take care of that for us. 6 gravel.
Yeah.
But we're slowly getting there. That's the blacksmith. Then we have the sawmill currently in the works.
Yeah, I'm wondering what my builder is up to.
And we also have that fix ready, basically, for the what is the name? The warped logs getting stripped correctly. That fix is also ready. So nice. Polished andesite 10. I always fall down here at this darn hole. Wait, let me fix this hole. Here and here. That's where I fall down every time. Okay, closey. Now I forgot how many andesite blocks it was. 10 polished andesite blocks. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Polished. Okay. And what's that? 26 polished andesite stairs. We don't have so much andesite. That's gonna
No. Like a stack or half a stack.
And I made
We got some in our warehouse as well.
And I even made the wrong ones. I made normal andesite stairs and not the polished ones.
Oh no. Better let our citizens do that.
Yeah. They do this more consistently than I do.
Although it would be funny if they like
polished blackstone.
Excellent good crafts wrong recipe.
Yeah, not sure how funny that would be, but yes.
Like, that fits another recipe as well. Oh, I made a ladder instead of like stair.
Polished blackstone.
And then they have to request
polished blackstone brick stairs. And there's only the cracked one. Meh. That's the bricks. So 2 polished blackstone brick stairs. What else? Just 3 normal polished blackstone stairs. So 3. And then 3 stairs out of that. Okay. Soul campfire. Hi Ross, how are you doing? And we're almost full here with the inventory. To drop off some
I think
of the
soul campfire stuff we should have.
Soul campfire is relatively easy, it just needs soul sand and coal. A very cheap, and some sticks, but that's having a lot of fun. Yeah. I've been seeing you've been streaming very regularly. It was 1 in the middle and 3 logs at the bottom, wasn't it? Yes. Cyan carpet. Do we have cyan carpet? Light gray carpet? Choop choop choop. 1. Yes. Okay, we go upstairs, deliver that stuff to our builder because our inventory is full. Then we get the remaining stuff. Here. Yeah, luckily Greg gave us a lot of wool. So we're really fine on wool and don't have to worry about that.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's
Then we
not
can
so
like,
much
put
left
our
now.
sheeps into lava.
Let me drop off some of the things here to have some space. So I'm going to need andesite, iron, and hay basically, and light gray carpet. Okay, so we go to the warehouse and we check what we got there now. Doom doom. Oh, it's glad it's. Then we got Nidenum's thing ready, and then Getsuru's research stuff is almost ready to merge as well. So we got those big ones finally off the shoulders. So we can not going to be worried about getting any conflicts and stuff. We have any andesite? Not enough. That's barely any andesite. Wheat. Now, what is the name of wheat? What was the name? It's not hay. Ah, we have hay balls. We have hay. No, I wasn't sure how the ingredient for hay balls was called again.
Wheat.
It was wheat, so we have no wheat.
Okay. What? No?
No.
Our field is like completely grown.
I'm going to have to check out our worker then, our farmer. Maybe they're stuck.
Well, I think he's a bit lazy, but apart from that.
So we have so many eggs. It's insane.
Our cow herder is eating it more than he produced it.
I think the cow herder is probably eating a lot of it as well. Where are these hay balls? Hay ball. Good to say everything is on one story, but Optifine doesn't make it so easy to see the outlining. Ah, found it. One hay ball. That's a lot of iron. And the side. Okay. So I can actually craft the stuff. Now I'm going to deliver it directly. Don't want to risk. I'm going to check out our farmer on the way as well. So, Gabriel. Then he's sick. That's what our farmer is doing.
Yeah. Guess he didn't make enough potato and carrots.
No, it's dandelion, kelp, and poppies he needs. That's why he's still sick.
What? He got COVID? Sent him away.
Yeah, yanked him out of his sick bed. Poor guy.
Just put him on the ledge and give him a little.
He got the measles. Yes. I got a
then
kelp.
he's in lava.
I got a kelp. Yeah, we do it like they did it at that age, right? You close the house with some wood, and then you set it on fire.
Yeah.
That's how in that age you dealt with sick people. Oops. Maybe not the most humane solution. True. Middle Ages were not well known for their humane solutions on things.
Indeed.
Anvil. I think it's 3, wasn't it? And then anvil. Here we go. And then iron. So. Ah! It needs leather caps first to make iron armor. What a pain. What a pain. It's a full iron set, isn't it? Yes. Ah, the pain. I regret this mod so much. I regret it so much. So, you're playing on Direwolf. So, leather. Let's see if we have some. Okay, we got the legs. We got the boots. We got an iron chest plate here. Can we repair an iron chest plate at at an anvil or so?
Yeah, you can also
Eh,
like combine 2 damaged ones.
I just need a hat then. So we didn't have a damaged one. That's why I said it.
You can also just like craft a new one. You got like 500 iron.
Yeah, but not a lot of leather. That was my problem.
True. The recipes were changed.
Yeah.
Stupid mod.
Stupid mod. Stupid mod. Why do you do this? No need. No need.
Also, maybe our
I think we have a little bit.
warehouse has
I think.
a ton of leather.
Yeah, I think our warehouse has some. Not so much, but has some. I'm going to deliver that stuff to the builder, and then I'm going to check at the warehouse for some leather. I'm pretty sure I saw some leather these days, and I'd like.
It got like two stacks leather.
Yes, I remember it had a bunch.
Right away.
So that's fine.
Here. It's only missing andesite. Oh, the iron chestplate is as well missing.
Help you with that.
No, I got you an iron chestplate. So it's only the andesite that is missing.
Weekends again.
Why do I find the stack of steak in our cook's storage?
Oh, you found a stack
No,
of steak?
restaurant storage.
Oh, that's good. We should put that away
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah, I stole it right and I threw it away.
You
How
got
did
it?
Get here? Didn't we like?
Yeah, we
Rent
can't turn it off yet. There's 17 more, by the way.
True.
Yeah, the pull request is almost finished for the food changes. So there are some changes coming to food. First of all, the food bar is going to double. So they're going to have now. So there are going to be longer periods of time between having to eat again. And eating full will keep them longer time saturated. I think that is going to be a nice
They
change.
don't have to walk as often to the restaurant.
And they won't have to ask. They will consume still the same quantity of food, but they will have to walk less often to the restaurant. And oops. So I'm going to.
It just fits better as well, right? With the default like saturation bar, you eat like 2 or 3 baked potatoes and then it's full again.
And
It's like either you constantly have to eat a lot to have a decent consumption, or you have to increase the maximum.
and yeah, we're fine on leather, but thanks, Sad Horizon. But we have some we're producing. So, and the other changes will be that citizens now, like I said already, depending on their profession, etc., will now be a little bit more picky with food and will want the better food in general. And you will be able to turn off certain food in the cook. So if you don't want your restaurant to serve certain things, like things you want to reserve for yourself or for your research or whatever, that will be possible then. It directly fends some andesite. We just need still some adjustments. At the moment the code is working, but it would send thousands of food items through the system if you have PAMs installed, which could be like make our colony file size insane again, which would be laggy in the wind.
That's like kinda for each colony, right?
We didn't add anything variety based yet, John, but I think maybe we can talk with the developer that was working on that part to maybe add something around variety as well. So we could have something that like the last food they ate doesn't satisfy them so much, and the citizen will give me food with preference, not X, right?
Yeah.
And the cook would still request the same things as always, but the citizen would be a little bit more picky.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Potatoes again?
Yeah, it could be like a nutrition thing or so.
Yes.
Same category or so. Can't be like eaten maybe too often.
Yeah. Yeah, just the same food in general can't be eaten. I would still allow to eat it, but just have the nutrition value it has.
Yeah, it like you can eat it, but it has less saturation value
Yeah.
for the specific citizen, so he wants another food.
Yeah,
Since he prefers high saturation, right?
exactly. Yeah, that would be things we would have to adjust potentially as well. That they might seek out a different restaurant. So that's why this pull request is a little bit more simple, so we don't have to think about possible edge cases. Right now they just want better than X food depending on their level, and will complain if your restaurant doesn't provide that, basically.
Like the higher level citizens don't want to eat rotten flesh anymore.
Polished andesite stairs, 26. Nice. Then we got the Eastern Builder here. Yeah, they won't. You will be able to turn off puffer fish and carrots at the restaurant, for example. So the cook doesn't request those anymore. Because those that don't have. Ah, here we have a bunch of wheat. We have wheat in the warehouse. What?
Yeah, I just put some in.
Ah, you just put some in, okay.
Since we had like the grown field, right?
So, and we had a very sick worker for a longer period of time. So, we didn't see that. One of the things I still want implemented is similar to Age of Empires, like you got on your screen, like here around on the right corner, for example, or so. You can't see it in the chat. So maybe here on the top right corner, like a red icon with a number talking about citizens that have a blocking task. And if you hover it, you're going to. And if you hover it,
colony overlay UI would mean.
Yeah, and if you hover it, it's going to tell you the positions of the citizens.
Yeah, I wanted like important messages, also like scroll items on the bottom side or something like that.
And the way
so you can click and view.
The way Nightinum is working on around blockout and the latest changes. Hi Margot, how are you doing? It should be much easier to even do this with blockout now.
Okay, nice. So who does it?
What have you in problem? You're having issue with your who's having issues again? I'm a little bit. So as our builder, I gave you the armor piece. Ah, you're trying to make yeah, you always have problems, Odd. No one is there. Are you trying to make avatar themed citizens? Ah, that would be awesome, those blue little guys running around. I'm sure those would look amazing. Where's the builder? Sleeping. The builder is sleeping. Okay. It's 19 o'clock already. We provided everything, and I'm sure they got the chest plate as well, but it's not registering for some reason. I'm not a fan of this specific music here. Chook. Here we go. Yes, we're always super happy about contributions in terms of skin packs, etc. And we do have monetary bounties on that. So we're giving out money if you make a whole skin set, by the way. So Doom, 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 doom. I'm going to dump that andesite and stuff back here. We got some silver ore. Some rocky stone. Kinda not a huge fan of those stone varieties. I think mods should allow crashing most stone varieties to cobblestone just.
Yeah, like add a new variety, but add to cobblestone recipe, right?
Where was this? It was overgrown rocky stone. You can't just make a stone plus cobblestone makes rocky stone, but there's no other way around. Like, you know, why? Like, if you hit rocky stone hard enough, it becomes cobblestone, right? It's like, obviously. Like it's made from cobblestone and stone becomes cobblestone, so rocky stone has to become cobblestone as well when you mine it. And since there's a lot of underground, I would be just fine of it being a cobblestone when you mine it directly. That's if you, it doesn't have a huge value decorational, I would say, then you can still mine it with a silk touch tool. Not a problem at all. So, I was discussing yesterday about chunk loading with a few developers. It's like, no, chunk loading should always expire. It should always.
Oh, yeah.
The default of chunk loading should be after 24 hours. The player, like, actually, for me the default should be after server restart. To be fair, for me the default should be the player logs off, the chunks unload. That should be the default for me.
Like 5 minutes later or whatever is Minecraft standard as well.
Like some minutes later, it's fine for me. Or at least on the next server restart, right? At least on the next server restart is also okay. And I would even be like, okay, I know people like it, and I know people are lazy. 24 hours between player logins, right? That is still highly reasonable. Come on, if you don't...
I don't like it.
No, it's like a reasonable compromise, right? It's... If you think that...
If you like desperately have to have it, right? I think it's a bad idea anyways, since it's breaking a very core principle of Minecraft, which is the world dynamically loads and unloads around you.
I mean, a lot of people
just breaking that to like generate some resources while we are not playing.
A lot of people would just be AFK logged in to go around that, so it's like, nah.
That's fine.
But that's why I said server restart based, for example, would be a nice way, or the least option. Where do you have the iron? He is not going to actually need the... here, it's iron chest plate, we got it. So it's just not registering accordingly.
But yeah, these
but people...
having chunks loaded just to generate more resources is... You can also just not load these chunks, log in, and give yourself some extra resources with creative. It's 100% the same, and one drains a lot of CPU power and impacts other players, and one doesn't.
And also the argument ended up being like, players are bothering me a lot about. It's like, you know what players bother me about and not giving an insane amount of things. It's players bothering me about X, Y, C is not
an argument.
It's not an argument.
It's not why you should do something. It's just that players do not like this. It doesn't mean you have to do it. Like if we were to do everything our players taught us, then we would have overpowered citizens and overpowered barbarians, and no one would die, and all would die because
exactly.
it's not funny when no one dies.
You have a huge player base. You have a lot of people playing on servers and things. Like in single player, chunk loading is even absolutely useless because you have to be playing anyway and AFKing. So
It's
you only get
just-
it on servers, really, the benefit of it. And servers
and
are
it's
actually those that suffer
kinda
from
makes
it, right?
Yeah, and it kind of like makes the gameplay between single player and servers different as well, which like shouldn't really be.
Yeah. And then, like, what's the problem? So you made something that's basically only works on servers and kills servers.
Great.
Great. Amazing. It's like, I give this example. You got, like, on our public server, we had in a couple of 6 months around 1,000 players. Imagine every of these players chunk loaded only 5 chunks of their base, right? That would be 2,000 chunks loaded, even though there's only 20 people playing actively on that server. So it's like, why? Don't do this. It's just, it should be normal mode. It was because at the moment, Forgecraft without any player logged in is at 11 TPS.
Yeah, no one online.
There's
The server is lagging.
no one is online, and the server is at 12 TPS.
Yeah, and like I think there was like 3,000 mechanism tile entities loaded or so.
Yeah. No, it was at least 6,000. At least 6,000. It was 3,000 mechanism entities of one mechanism type. That was one mechanism type.
It's just amazing.
It was just ticking, yeah, ticking tile entities. That's not tile entities, ticking tile entities. That's an important, very important distinction. Like, imagine something happening just because of the quantity 3,000 times a tick.
Yeah.
That is, like, even if they do basically no calculation, this is too much. This is already.
Yeah.
And
That's why you don't like give these tubes and such. You don't make them tick.
Hey, I am still like the opinion. Why do tubes have to tick? You just tick. You just tick them from the machine. You go from the machine and search a consumer or producer of the thing.
There also is one big mod for this kind of stuff which doesn't tick those connections at all, and only has them as normal blocks.
Yeah.
Just normal blocks, not even tile entities. I think XNet was it.
Of course, I know its mechanism is almost poop working alone on it. So it's also.
Yeah. But if you say performance, she gets angry. So
Yeah, she doesn't like that. She doesn't like that. It's 4:30. It's 5:30 now. Come on, work, miner, work. It's time to get up. 5:30. The early bird catches the iron.
Oh, so you are throwing iron at him, so he gets up.
Hungry? Here, take 2 potatoes. Now you come.
Oh, good.
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock.
Here's your pickaxe. There's your building site. Go.
It's 6 o'clock. Time to work. Go, go, go. No? Aha! She woke up. Just had to insist long enough. Now she's working. I've posted a Twitch link as well for Storm. Oops. I'll always make this here. Advertisement, advertisement. So what do you need? Warped slabs, you're getting them? Neat. How's our builder doing? 6% of the blacksmith. It should be done in decent speed. Down we go. But yeah, a few of the main structurized bugs are going to be finally solved. Yeah. For someone who despises capitalism so much, I let my AIs work quite a lot, don't I?
Yeah, for sure.
But that's exactly my vision. Let computers work and people work less. Let computers work more and people work less. That is exactly the idea.
Or do we have machines, right? We are building machines to not have to all do all work ourselves.
Exactly. We
Like, that's the point.
That's exactly the point. Like, it would be much more interesting if computer science were hired, like, based on, okay, there's a certain amount of things we want to get done. If you make tools to make those tasks easier, you can work less. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
For sure.
Whereas computer scientists would be, this sounds like a good proposal for me. Because we end up automating things just so that our bosses get richer and not we end up having anything from it. Engineers have the same problem, but on a more practical scale, right?
Well, what you kinda gotta do is like automate stuff, don't tell your boss about it, and pretend you are working.
That works as well. I heard there was a guy in the US
Yeah.
that was like the best guy in the office, and they found out that he used half his salary to hire a group of Chinese people to do his job remotely.
And just did nothing at work.
It just did nothing. It was just watching YouTube all day, and they found out like he's watching some when they did like some audit. They found out that he's like watching an insane amount of YouTube and these kinds of things on his job, and then they were digging into how this is possible, and ended up finding through the traffic out that actually someone else was doing the job better than anyone else in the company, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how different like pay rates are in countries, right?
Yeah.
You can just take half your salary and have someone else do your job.
Although it is difficult, like if it's a stupid job, and it probably was some stupid server monitoring job or something like that.
Yeah.
Because coding and these kinds of things, I saw a lot of company trying this, and a lot of company ending up spending much more money doing it outside than doing it themselves, because they're just hiring a lot of cheap people for cheap. But it's also obviously because if you're not Apple, Microsoft, and you go to India, you only got what's left, and what's left is then doesn't fulfill the quality standards.
Yeah, it's like even you just don't get the nice quality when you like have someone working on it who is like not really involved but super far away, you only sometimes talk with. That's just
it's like, and then they spend like millions on building up bases up there and sending people there, and then paying their people more money while they're there, and train them and whatever. Just to abuse the low quality, the low standards of the countries, so that if a crisis hits, or even if just doesn't even need a crisis, just if the sales drop a little bit, they just fire everyone. They're like, okay.
Yeah.
I was always thinking about like one of the very basic laws, like that could be like a law Trump could have made, or the nationalists people could make easily, is like, okay, the employment standards in another country have to be at least as high as in the country of the company, where the company is from. That's the thing. And if the company moves their entire company over, you can still say no. That is, you have your main base of operations at another place. That's not how this works. Because actually, they're like, I read once a thing. They're like, there's like full big houses in Malta, where there are like offices of 200 companies in one little residential building, and that's the main base of operation of those 200 companies, and no one works there. Because the only thing you need is an address for this to count as your main base of operations. Right, that's like those gray zones, they exist on purpose. And I even say, like, all those people that are like, I'm liberal, I'm pro little companies. Yeah, you know, little companies are not able to do this kind of trickery. This hurts the little companies and helps the big ones.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm super pro little companies. I'm super pro production around the corner of little things. I'm super pro having a lot of small companies. Super pro that. But deregularization doesn't help you with that. It just gives you more big companies. Because the powerful ones will never give their power away.
Yeah.
So... yeah, the big lobbyist would have made the rule. Yeah, he could, but he's basically owning the Republican Party, isn't he? Looking at the impeachment outcome, come on, that is not the Trump Party. Yes, at level 3 the smelter doubles whatever he's smelting. So 100% probability. And at a level 4 it starts with tripling chances. But yeah, obviously you would need a no loophole thing there. So, oops. We go up. What is this here? Oh, I found a gas just in the middle of nowhere. It was. I thought it was a big bone block. I was going to mine it.
You hit it and it's a gas.
And then I hit it, and then it was a ghast. That was unexpected. That was unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we all know that the nationalists, they don't actually care about small business owners. They don't care about any of that. They just seem to be caring about that. They want to seem to care about that.
Yeah. So let's say, like, get elected again and vote for, and then after they quit politics, they get some nice company jobs.
Yes.
That's basically politic life plan.
Politic 1 by 1. 1 plus 1. And but yeah, that's also the basic understanding nowadays of politics is just so skewed, These days I was at a mechanic fixing letting something be fixed by the car, and I was like chatting with the mechanic, and the mechanic was complaining about Macron bothering Brazil about the rainforest and was saying, they just all want to exploit the rainforest for themselves and stuff, which is not untrue, entirely. And then he called Macron a communist, and I was like, what? What? No, Macron is the incorporation of a capitalist. You can't be much more capitalist than Macron. Come on, you can't. Communist? Calling Macron a communist? You have literally no idea what a communist means. For those people, it's like communism.
It was like just meant as an insult. So.
No, I'm serious. They really think that. They really believe that. They like everything that is bad is communism. So someone does something we don't like is communism. Something does someone we like is capitalism. That's how the thing works. Yeah, I wouldn't even qualify Macron as a centrist. Yes.
I guess they got some nice education there, as I learned that, right?
Yeah, or on YouTube. Yes, I'm at fault for discussing with people at YouTube. I know I shouldn't be discussing with people on YouTube. I still do it. I can't just listen to stupid so much. Someone was telling me that the CDU in Germany, the party of Merkel, is for him too left. It's way too left for his taste.
It's more a right party.
He says it's a center left party, and so he votes for a party to the right of this. Like the only party to the right of that are fascists. That's basically all.
So that's only fascists left.
So there's
more right.
only fascists are left, more to the right. And actually he meant the liberals. So, which made it even more confusing because the liberals are actually much more left on all topics but economy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have to say, in some topics the centrist parties went a little bit to the left in the last decade, I agree. On some gender justice, LGBTQ rights, those things, they went more to the center from the extreme right position they used to have, right? I agree with that. But
economically,
they're still pretty far right.
Yeah.
They're still
basically they don't mind doing some left stuff unless it costs money.
Yes, basically that. So that's why they do. That's why there's so much focus on the gender stuff and LGBTQ rights, because it's free. It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
That's why politicians talk so much about that, because that doesn't cost anything, and the left feels accomplished about getting something there. That's exactly why they do it. It's giving them little tokens while the system remains theirs. But in the end, so the liberals are actually much more liberal on all those leftist topics. They're much more liberal on. They're even more progressive on climate change usually. They're sometimes even more open to the universal basic income things and those kind of things, because it's good for startups, etc. as well. And education in general, they're much more progressive. They're less religion and more other education things. So in a bunch of things, they're significantly more progressive than the centrist parties. Just an economy, they're even worse, to be honest, because they kind of preach this fairy tale of self-regulating markets and trickle-down economics.
Yeah.
Which actually are like triple up economics, right? From the poor to the rich.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's absolutely. How can someone think Macron is left? Or even like, okay, Macron is left because he doesn't think we should just kill all the Muslims, okay? So he's more left than the fascists, yes. He's against authoritarian leadership, yes. He's against invading Africa and other countries. Not so much, yeah. Actually, Macron is...
So much, but he doesn't have an army, so...
He doesn't have a big enough army to do it alone, right? He doesn't have a big army to do it alone, but he is suppressing Africa quite a lot. That he is. They have quite a like. Did you know that a lot of African currencies are directed by the French government and are given out by the French notary bank, and those are then obviously pegged to the euro.
Yeah.
Obviously pegged to the euro in favor of France against the favor of the African countries.
Yeah, I guess that's what colonialism like.
Yeah, African. Yeah, there's like still running. There was this episode where they were like discussing about primary fugitive reasons for fugitives that come to Europe, and then like they were like, okay, one word for the primary reason for fugitives, and then it's like one simple word, it's us. Very, very simple short word, us. That is the primary reason.
What? Just because we are abusing them, they want to get here and then not get abused? That's weird.
Do you know where the tax money for development funds go? It goes to German, French, and British and US companies in Africa that hire their people under minimum salary. And they get from the government a bonus for doing so.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
Yeah, that's where the development funds go. The development funds go also to corrupt politicians, so they continue selling the natural resources from those countries for discount prices for us. That's also where development funds go.
You, like gotta play along with the local politician. So you can keep doing it, right?
Exactly. And then when local politicians are like, no, this is our oil and our ore, then it's
So we
like
need another one.
then it's like I think I'm smelling a military coup. I'm smelling a military coup here, which is totally unrelated to anything, like them trying to get their own control of their own resources. That's what happened in Iran, right? Yeah, it's similarly to how Europe, it's like we're selling the medicine and then they're in debt with us about their medicine, so we can force them to sell us what we want of them for the prices we want and pay high debt to us, and the countries are broke because of that. But we're paying billions of development funds to our local companies there to suppress their local businesses. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that happened in African countries. That is happening in Latin American countries. In African countries, it's more Europe. In Latin and Central America, it's more the US. In the Middle East, it's more the US as well, but also the Europe. Like the oil Iran wanted before the military coup was held by France and the UK, and they didn't like that they wanted their oil back. So, oh, the blacksmith is finished. So, anyone complaining about fugitive? Maybe you should consider not complaining so much, because they're there because of you, not because they want their country to be so shitty.
Yeah.
Fixing my pickaxe, and actually want to start a new building. Let me check the researches. Yeah.
Sawmill is half done.
Even the mess in Syria. Why is there a mess in Syria? Because our governments are undermining the control, not because they care about the people, because actually it's a dictatorship there, but it's actually the quality of life in Syria was relatively high. Most people were relatively happy. Similar in Egypt before the things. It was because Russia was having too much influence in Syria, and they didn't really enjoy Russia having so much control of oil, so we give terrorists enough space in an unstable system to develop themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Enchanter, is the Enchanter level 3 finished, by the way? It is, right?
Yeah.
So I can start a research here, actually. Here. Yay! Now we got more research running at the moment. But the stream was delayed a little bit because I was checking out chairs. A stone smelter is still running, okay. I had bought some nice desk chairs for cheap that broke after a week of use. Good thing that I was able to give them back. So I'm just paying a little bit more, double unfortunately, but getting something that will hold at least and not hurt me. Yeah, I'm going to upgrade the university now. I think that's a good thing to do next. And get an idle builder here. So, upgrade. But yeah. It is always this thing. It's politicians give just enough to their people that they don't complain enough to, so that they still can stay in power. Or not politicians, that is the status quo leading class.
Yeah.
The rich people. I like what Vasky tweeted these days. It's like the big problematic difference between Elon Musk and the Amazon guy. I always forget his name. The big problematic difference is everyone agrees that Jeff Bezos sucks. Jeff Bezos, yeah, just entered. Everyone agrees that Jeff Bezos sucks. That is good. Everyone knows that he's a dickhead. But for some reason, Elon Musk was able to kind of create a cult around himself. Yeah, Elon Musk is just as bad. I would say Elon Musk is probably like the exaggerated version, even because he just blatantly ignores all rules and just does whatever he wants, right? Like, oh, I'm going to just use insider knowledge and tweeting to enrich myself, right? Like, Tesla would be long broke without this cult around him, who just sells flamethrowers on his website and makes millions of that, or a baseball cap, and sustains his business from that. Like the cult around this person. I didn't know that he was a transphobe too, but it would fit his face, definitely. But yeah, Jeff Bezos is at least the obvious villain. Elon Musk is more like the villain. Most people don't recognize that he is like how he is super pro environment and then invests billions in Bitcoin. He could have just used the proof of stake coin and could have said, hey, proof of stake is much better. He has problems with people using different pronouns. Then he is not even then he is just in general not even a transphobe, but a queerphobe even, maybe. Come on, let people use whatever they want. Even if you like do not agree with things or whatever, it's just pronouns. Let people use what they're happy with. But yeah, Dogecoin is like talking about useless stuff. Like there are many projects that are like worth shilling, right? There are many projects with interesting algorithms, interesting use cases, platforms you can build upon. Like even Ethereum, right? Even if you said Ethereum, right? It's millions of times better than Bitcoin. It actually has use cases. It has hundreds of decentralized applications running on top of it. It is moving to proof of stake to be environmentally friendly and more scalable. But Dogecoin is a meme. That's what Dogecoin is. It's literally a meme. It was abandoned by the founders. There's no development in Dogecoin. It's just a meme. A $1 billion meme.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is not a currency. Bitcoin is a store of value. That's what Bitcoin is. It's naturally scarce. It's difficult to obtain, and there's a limit, and so I wouldn't say Bitcoin is tulips. It's definitely always in hype circles. I would say the price at the moment is way above anything that is true, but it's not tulips because there is an economic principle. Because if you say Bitcoin is tulips, then Facebook stocks are tulips, and Amazon stocks are tulips, and any stock is tulips. Then the dollar is tulips too. You know that, what was it, like 90% of all dollar in existence was printed in the past year. And a dollar is actually worse because we don't even know how much dollar there is, and there's centralized control about it without clear rules and these kinds of things. Bitcoin, at least you got some general rules around it, right? You know how it is, it's calculatable, it's naturally scarce. It's like gold, but easier to get.
Yeah, and you don't need like to dig a hole into the.
Yeah. The only problem is that it's
justified.
It's proof of work, and a very expensive one in that. Yeah, gold is worthless too. But we need stores of values, unfortunately. Land is way too impracticable for store of value, especially for midterm reasons. So if there wasn't proof of, and it could actually, like for Bitcoin, maybe proof of elapsed time might be an interesting thing to go to. Have you heard of proof of elapsed time?
No.
It's basically an Intel thing, where Intel CPUs don't have to do work, but they can prove that a certain amount of time passed in this Intel CPU.
Ah.
So you can use that just as a normal server, and just the amount of servers you control for hosting, whatever, you can use that as proof of elapsed time in the meantime. So that is significantly better environmentally, and the only thing it hinges on that. Relatively interesting are there's also proof of space, where you're basically renting out space, disk space. This also works relatively fine. Also environmentally friendly, because you don't need any calculations to be done. Just need to prove regularly that you're storing something for them. It's better than Bitcoin, right? But I'm a huge fan of permissioned systems. And if I made a cryptocurrency, it would be a permissioned one. So basically what I would do is kind of making what is missing, and it is accountability. So each person would have to post their identity and identity data. Like, I don't know, a photo of their passport on the internet, you know. Prove that they are themselves. And then, like, the people in the existing network vote if they think that this person is going to enrich the community. Like, okay, this guy is a researcher wanting to run a server that is going to help our community. That guy is a developer that's going to probably bring applications here, going to review code, whatever. Someone for marketing, whatever the chain needs. And the chain votes. It's not stake based. So, got this one a little bit nicened up. I'm all out of bone meal again. So, our career is running. Yay! Our sawmill is ready. So we can already upgrade the sawmill to level 2. Actually, we should probably upgrade the citizen huts. We are lacking citizens.
Yeah.
Seriously lacking citizens. Do the nether sheep have real grass? I don't think so. That's why they're always sheared.
If you say so.
So, what do you need here? A lot of crimson trapdoors. 3. I think I have some crimson with me, don't I? I do. But yeah, Ray ranting again.
How's the work going? Yes, Lord.
What else? There's a lot of stuff here. Polished blackstone, smithing table. Is it open in the list? Nope. Oh, do I have some blackstone? Some. Here, 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 here. I guess you will need basalt as well. But yeah, people lack a really basic understanding of politics. And that's, I have to say, is something that in school we had like politics classes kinda. But that were very focused on the system and laws and stuff. Which is like, I obviously agree we should have a basic understanding of the laws and stuff. But I think we should have a much deeper understanding on what certain political directions mean, what the beliefs are, what means left and right, what are the histories of it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are lacking a basic understanding. For them, is like left is evil. They don't understand the left either. Yeah, we also have how our laws made. They pass through the different chambers. We have the separation of powers. All of this is important. All of that is important. We should learn of all of this, but that is not enough. For example, instead of learning religious stuff, we could learn that, for example. It would be much more useful. There's some parties that have that in their program, removing religion. 6 Polish Blackstone. Religion classes in Germany. That was definitely in favor. Put ethics classes there and focus ethics on philosophy and politics, basically. Yeah, at least you don't have religion classes in France. How many bookshelves? 24. So I need a little bit more of this. But yeah, in Germany we still have religion classes. Yeah, France made that. Luckily, Germany didn't make that step. Unfortunately. I had most of my life religion at school. Good that I had relatively progressive teachers. So most of the times we really had actual discussions about abortion and really different points of view, and we were not forced to believe anything specific in these regards. So it was never like, no, abortion is bad. So what we had was like, no, we have to think there are advantages and disadvantages of that. But that was my religion classes. And I had very,
and then like mine as well.
I had very young religion teachers. I had here and there as well some that were not so young, and that was always a nightmare. Some dirt. Yeah, exactly. It's all the problem is the greed. That is, I definitely agree with that. Poppy. Do I need more dirt? No, but I need a poppy as well. Ah, bookshelves. Enough. Need some more wood. I think I can let. No, I don't need more. Thing. A feather. A 3 glowstone. Let me get those as well. Do we have a feather? We should have lots of no. We should have lots of feathers in the town hall. And the town hall in the warehouse. How many plant pots? 3. I think there's also. I think it's not only greed. It's also not. There's a lot of not letting the other side win, even if everyone knows they're right. Like, we're not going to do certain policies just because they're left. And we're 1 hour and 22 minutes in the stream now. So quite a bit. We're going towards the end of the stream. So I think there's a lot of not letting the other side win. Like, oh no, this is leftist politics. We can't do that. Even though there is no good reason to not do so. Like marriage for everyone. There's no good reason for that. the reason we didn't have it yet in Germany was because we have a religious party and the vast majority of the population actually agree with it. It's because also the majority of the population is not religious. Even though a lot of people say they're religious, they're not. They just say that to not say there is no God, so they feel bad for believing something like that. So yeah, there are things that are like obvious things to do, but there's so much division in politics nowadays that they're like, no, we're not doing that. But that is like in Germany it's the opposite. There's not enough division. You got like 3 big parties with different names and it's the same thing and they do the same thing independent of who you vote for.
Yeah.
And they agree with each other on 90% of the things.
Yeah. It's kinda like the illusion of choice.
Yeah. You got the Green Party that absolutely loves cars. They love cars so much because they're afraid to losing their big state.
Yeah.
But yeah. Dark Oak Logs 6. Do we have Dark Oak Logs still? Yes. Class Paint 26. Yeah, Germany has kinda... I do agree on a minimum percentage to enter. Because I do know that if you have too many parties, it will be a mess and you won't be able to have a proper government. But Germany is also taking it a little bit to the extreme. Yeah, I did see that in the last French elections. That was a little bit more interesting. Although it was also kind of terrifying seeing the Le Pen there on the top. Being so close to winning. Obviously also Macron got so many votes because everyone else was like, obviously we don't want Le Pen to win, right? It's like... Yeah, you could have a 2-party system because you have a stupid winner takes all system. Everyone knows it doesn't work.
Yeah, good.
They calculated ones. I found it quite interesting. They calculated ones. What would be if Germany had a winner takes all system, like the UK has? And they were like, the biggest party would have 64% of the parliamentary power. There was something around that. They would just be able to govern completely on their own and do whatever they want. Like terrifying. Oak, spruce, and
you
lots
mean
of stuff.
like all these big companies do, which have like no democratic systems in them at all?
Yeah.
It's kind of like some companies have like the power, like as much power as some states, even more than some.
Yeah, come on, Amazon
they aren't democratic at all.
Amazon is more powerful than
and it's
90% of countries in the world.
Non-vote. You got nothing to say.
So, hey, I kind of like. I get that people vote for the outsider to protest, but there are other outsiders. There are non-fascist outsiders as well running, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could have voted for Bernie Sanders from the beginning. You could have voted for this more socialist guy in France as well from the beginning. There are alternatives. If you're voting for a fascist party, that means you're at least okay with what they're saying, if you at least for the sake to get heard. I don't have enough wood. It's an excuse. You agree with most of the ideas. What is... I got a stone slab, don't I? Ah, wrong block. Fail. This list is so long, it's kind of demotivating me while I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's wrongly decided from the start, and people are now religious about the constitution and are like the founders are like perfect human beings. They're Jesus 2.0 with parliamentary power and made the perfect decisions for a system. People are just using it wrong. No, they did the crappy decisions for a system and didn't think it through completely, and that's why the system is broken. And the US knew it in the 1940s already that their system sucks. That's why they implemented a better system in Germany. Blue stained glass. It's like this, the gun thing as well. Actually, the amendment doesn't say that everyone is allowed to have a gun. The Constitution just talks that there should be kind of a well-formed militia instead of having military, because the military can be used to oppress people. So they have both. Everyone is part of a militia that is not well-formed, and they have the biggest military in the world.
Yeah, amazing, right?
So like the worst of both worlds. Yeah. Cyan stained glass. How many? 8. And more cyan stained glass. Doom. Yeah, exactly. There's a reason for the Second Amendment, but it's being abused for something it isn't, right? It was never meant to be for everyone hoarding assault rifles at home. Yeah, there's a lot of cultism as well in politics, which is something which fortunately a little bit better in Germany. I think everyone just hates all people in politics. I think what everyone agrees on is that everyone sucks. People are just arguing about the least worst options. No one likes actually the people there.
Yeah.
So we do not have that cultism there is in the US. Twisting wines. Chip chew. What's the next? Torches. There's only one place where a system that works well. It's Switzerland. I would disagree. So Switzerland is also kind of like very homogeneous, but I wouldn't say it works because they have also very abusive political. Like if Switzerland's political system worked, Nestle wouldn't be so powerful and wouldn't have their seat in Switzerland. It's because it doesn't work either. The rich get away with whatever they want and the poor don't. And yeah, they have a few things, when you actually think about it, are insane. It's like the thing of having people vote on every single issue seems fine. Popular vote seems to be a fine thing if you don't think too deeply about it. Let's have people vote if we should give more rights to minorities. Obviously, the majority will in most cases not vote for that, because why give more things to minorities, right? So
Yeah.
that's usually why we have like having some sort of political system in between is kind of a good idea as well, to kind of
So
buffer
it's
that.
like not feasible with the amount of decisions as well, right?
Yes.
You got a lot of like expert topic decisions to be made, which you can't like just vote everyone on, because not everyone is really an expert at all these things.
Switzerland seems to have a working system because they're making a ton of money of wars, finance, tax robbery, etc. And so their country has just enough money for whatever they want. That's why Switzerland seems to be working fine. But who do you think was the actual winner of the First and Second World War? Switzerland, of course, they were the winner. They were lending money to both sides with insane taxes, and were making billions out of that. And at the same time, no one invaded them because they knew they were giving them money. So the server decided it's the end of the stream today. So thanks everyone for tuning in today. Have a good one. If you want to support our project, consider donating on Patreon. You get access to our nice little server and a few other perks. And it's the only income we have from this project. It's an open source project, so everything is for everyone to use as well. Thanks Sam for tuning in as well. Thanks everyone for engaging a chat with us. I think we had more interesting discussion topics today again. So I'm going to blame Wizzy for no update yet. I'm going to ping him again, but I think we're going to merge the structurized stuff first, and I'm going to ping Wizzy for updates. Thanks a lot everyone. See you tomorrow. Ciao ciao. Good night.